Well, here we are again. Apparently I'm becoming the Metroidvania guy. I'm okay with this. So let's just dive right in, I guess. This is the good, the bad, and the bland of Omega Strike. Omega Strike puts players in control of a group of soldiers trying to stop the evil Dr. Omega from using his super mutant army to destroy the world using their unique abilities to overcome challenges. And yes, it is as silly as it sounds. Being a Metroidvania, the gameplay focuses on exploration, platforming, and the need of new power-ups to progress to ever more challenging areas and encounters. Now that the basic premise is out of the way, let's take a look at So the first thing of note in Omega Strike is just how good the controls feel. The control I had while jumping and aiming made the platforming very easy to navigate and made every mistake I made feel that much more fair. The game also boasts a great retro-inspired soundtrack that still sometimes gets stuck in my head. In addition, the ease of swapping characters and the different utility each of those characters provides makes for a few enjoyable puzzles towards the mid to late game. Combine all those elements with level layouts that reward careful progression over rushing through, and it creates an experience very similar to older Metroidvania games. But not everything in this game is as bright as the art style, so let's talk about While the deliberate pacing of the game sets can feel very rewarding, it can also make the game feel like it's dragging its feet from time to time as you try to methodically make your way up to the next area. And while the rewards for exploring are extremely useful in the early game, it becomes completely pointless around the mid-game as you will likely unlock all the upgrades by that point, making any further money you find from exploring almost useless. Now that we've covered the highs and lows, let's move on to While not the shortest Metroidvania-style game I've ever played, the game is certainly hurting in the playtime department. And with the pacing of the game, it can feel a lot longer than it is, but not always in a good way. But one of the things that really held this game back for me was the inconsistency of the boss fights. Some felt like very entertaining and challenging encounters, while the majority felt rather simplistic in their execution. And while the harder difficulty modes helped change this up by changing the timing and patterns slightly, the trade-off of having enemies become more like bullet sponges can throw off the pacing of the game even more at certain points. And while not the biggest deal, I did run into a few bugs that required me to relaunch the game, but the developer seems very good about stomping them out as they arise. Now there's just one big question that remains. Omega Strike was a very odd experience for me. It constantly skirted the line between being a very enjoyable and rewarding Metroidvania and just kind of dragging its feet. I feel like if you're a big fan of the older Metroidvania style and are okay with a shorter playtime, and some relatively easy bosses, then this game can definitely be worth the $13 the developer is asking for it. But if not, it still can be an enjoyable experience, but one that you would probably want to pick up on a sale. You can definitely feel the love and effort that the developer put into the game with all the attention to tiny details, and that helps add to the enjoyment of the game immensely. But I don't feel that it does quite enough to sway people new to the genre into exploring the genre further. But these are just my opinions on the game. If you'd like to discuss the game some more or have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below or hit me up on Twitter and I will do my best to answer you. And until next time, keep gaming.